Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, coming at you live talking about episode 6 of the anime series Shokugeki no Soma, San no Sara, or the Third Plate. And while I'm not much of a hip hop guy, Jay-Z once said, "It's funny what 7 days can change," and that's thoroughly the case in this show. And I'm loving every drip and minute of it. I mean, everything, as I said several times in my previous episode discussion video, has been flipped on its ear. The tables have flipped, everything has been flipped on its ear, and it's all to do with Azami, Arina's father, making his return and formally taking control of Totsuki in this episode. And so, just the status quo of everything has been so shaken up that characters who were once sort of the rivals of our main heroes and things, of Soma and such like that, Alice and Arina for her part, and Ryu and all these other characters, they've become that much more sympathetic, and we're championing them just as much as Soma and Megumi and all the cast of regulars. They are just as much victims of this shakeup that Azami has come in and acted as our main sort of cast of characters. And to the point where Alice and Ryu and Hisako, they've come in, and, Hisako was let go, forcibly so, by Azami. He pinioned that for Arina to guide her and to be domineering and commanding over her, and all the twisted stuff we see in the flashbacks, that he's just despicable, the way he has behaved around this daughter. And thankfully, I thought it was going to get much worse. He just turned her into a sort of bitch. I was afraid it was going to get a lot darker and a lot worse. It's a cooking show, so thankfully that wasn't the case, at least as of yet. But, they're trying to spirit Arina away, make her run away, and I started cracking up when Alice is like, Arina's showing reservations about, should they really do this? And she's like, "Don't be a pussy." Just come on. You can't live under this guy's thumb, under his command, the way he has, treated you all your life. It was a blessing that he was ousted from your life by your granddaddy, and everything like that. And I thought it was very intriguing. Again, Alice, for her own part, she's become much more hilarious, a little more, I don't know, jokey as a character. She's lightened up a little bit, whereas she was very adversarial toward the beginning, even though she was still comedic and everything like that. All of these characters, Ryu and everything like that, it's like I say, they were adversarial. They were the adversaries of our main heroes, the main cast of characters that we were like, beat their asses, every other episode. And so now that they're sort of pseudo on the same side, it's just that much more intriguing. And of course, Megumi runs into them when they've tried to spirit Arina away, and they have nowhere they can think of to bring her. So where did they bring her? Polar Star, of course. Or Polar Dorm, or whatever the hell it was. Completely forget. But all of that was intriguing and exciting to me. And then directly taken out of the OP, do we have Granddaddy Totsuki, the sort of head, the figurehead of the Academy, pointedly coming to Soma with the request, after outlining exactly all the horrors that Arina grew up, surrounding her. After unloading all of that, his chief request is of Soma, save my granddaughter. Because she became despicable. She became, just such a hateful human being. And since removing the cancerous nature of her father, she was evolving. She was sort of coming back to her humanity. She was becoming more jovial and more sociable and friendlier and more lighthearted than she had been, everything like that. It was an evolutionary tack entirely. But we saw shades of that. She was much more reserved and internalized when we first meet her, going all the way back to episode 1 of season 1, when Soma is first introduced to her. And she has evolved. She has lightened up to a degree. Maybe not as much as Alice. She's not as comical as the Alice character has turned out to be. But she's become that much more likable. And that's all of these adversarial characters, they've become that much more likable, and now they're all on the same side, as I say. So many S words in this video. But I love it. I love the flopped dynamic now, where she's gonna be shacking up with Soma and his whole, crew, and that's where she's gonna have her downtime. That's where they're gonna be hiding her, and they're all excited that they're gonna make food for her and get the god tongue to judge it and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I see that working out. She completely dismisses all told that she's ever going to taste any of Soma's cooking, and he's like, all right, well, let's see, what am I going to go make for you to taste, oblivious and just happy-go-lucky, and not in any way defeatist, as Soma always tends to be, which is why I love him so much. And I love the flipped dynamic. Now she's staying under the same roof as he and his whole crowd, and they're all on the same side. They're all going to have to be tentative and watch their steps and try to figure out what it is that Izami is going to set into motion. They're talking about he's like created a divide right down the middle of Totsuki Academy where it pertains to the gourmet food, the kind of gourmet food they're going to create, and the kind of, burgeoning chefs that they're going to be accepting of and all this kind of stuff. And I almost don't half wonder if we're going to see a large percentage of the alumnus of this school currently just being completely ousted because they're not good enough, something like that. And that would be pretty hellacious, and that's why just the intensity of that, where anything goes, anything can happen at Azami's hand, and he's got so much of the Elite 10 backing him. I just can't wait to see where this is going to go. Especially, as I say, where they've managed to endear these more adversarial characters. You were rooting against them. You were rooting for the heroes, Soma, Megumi, and all of them, their entire crew, against these adversarial, antagonistic characters. And now they are right alongside our heroes. They're just in the, as much in the thick of it as our heroes are. And I have loved and I have liked how they've gotten along and the interplay between them all. And it's just going to add that much more depth and intrigue to it now that they're all in bed together, so to speak. And how will these relationship dynamics play out? That's going to be really fun and exciting to see as we continue on with this season. And so yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 6 of Shokugeki no Soma, Sen no Sara, or the third plate, if you've seen it as well. If you agree with me that everything getting flipped on its side like this is just making for that much more exciting storytelling, and the adventure to come that is set before us, because we don't know where it's going to go necessarily. I mean, I'm still gobsmacked that Izami is a character at all, that he made a return, that he has taken over command of Totsuki. So I've been shocked and surprised, and that just has my juices flowing that much more, to be attuned to this, to see where it's going to go. And do you agree? Do you agree with me or not? If not, why not? Let me know in the comments below. We can always have a great conversation, even if our POVs happen to disagree. But if you've been enjoying this series, I would be, daring enough to bet that, much like myself, this has put a whole new spin on everything for you. And you're going to be digging it that much more. So, yeah. Otherwise, though, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well. And I'll catch you all later. Peace.